things. You're talking about pro level, getting a pro ride, and guys were like, oh, you're just because you're a girl, you're getting this. Like, what? What about me qualifying? What about me winning races? What about, and it wasn't anything, now it's nothing you were doing, but it's a lot of the same hardships. It's every level of what you can go. I think the world is progressing in so many ways, but there's still a lot of people that mentally are not progressing and that can't handle it. And, now with time, it's like, you got to self-reflect and think, what is it that I can do to be better? But people that can't do that, they use hate to put other people down because it makes them feel better. So now when people say negative things, I'm like, sorry, you're unhappy. Doesn't bother me.
Did you ever feel like when you went out there and when the men didn't know who you were, they had that, we talk about that ponytail syndrome effect. Did you feel that the boys did maybe bully you or didn't take you seriously because, oh, she's just a girl, I'll push her out of the way? Like, did you have to fight for that respect?
Absolutely. I remember when I first started club racing, we painted like my wheels neon pink or had pink stuff like on the bike because we thought it was cool. And I sure had guys tell me to my face that, you try to shove a wheel in there and they'd see it was a pink wheel and see it was me and would hit me or crash me. Or I've had guys tell me they would target fixate on it. I've had my own teammates tell me they would take me out before they let me beat them. Like there was a lot of, you got to understand. So I started like 9-10 years ago. There wasn't really any girls doing it.
Right.
So the ego was significant, like compared to now, there's more women, Elena's done it or Kayla's done it, or I've done it, or even on a world level, there's more women out there. So I feel like we're still obviously the minority, but I feel like we just have earned a lot more respect than what used to be. But no, I definitely, it was crazy to me to have my own teammates come up to me off the track and tell me they'd crash me before they let me pass them. Like literally they did not.
Wow.
I used to hide my ponytail. I used to wear all black leathers helmets. Like it got to a point where I was trying to hide that I was a girl because I didn't want anyone to know it because I felt like people weren't racing me fair. And it was just like another, I don't want to say like adversity, something you just else had to overcome to get to the next level. But I'm sure there's people that have experienced that. But like I said, I don't know what it was. I just kept fighting and having to get over it. And I remember so many guys, like at the beginning when I did start going pro, there's so much physically on the track, but then emotionally off the track too. Like I remember people saying like, oh, she's not going to last or she won't be around very long. Like, so one, it's like either they're bullying me on the track or they're trying to dismiss me or something, or, oh, she only got some sponsorship because she's a girl. She won't get any real results or other things like that. And to be honest, I think that affected me more, all the mental and the thinking about it than it did, someone pushing you on and off the track. That's instant. And then it's over. Where someone says things to you like that mentally, that weighs on you or you think about it, and I had to deal with a lot more of that. But I love it now because it's like, F you, I'm still around. Where are you? It's exactly. Like, still doing things and still making it. I think there's just so much you have to do. There's so much more strength that comes into your personality to be successful at something. A woman in anything that's male dominated. Like I have friends that are very successful in businesses and other areas of life, and they deal with a lot of the same things that I do. So it's pretty interesting just to have that in common.
Do you think that you have more mental toughness than the guys because you've had to go through a lot of obstacles that maybe they didn't have to go through?
Yes. Without a doubt, 100% yes. Because you got to understand, I know there's other people out there that I started racing late. I had no racer parents, no background, being a female, I had like nobody with family money or anyone helping me. And all the other things I had to overcome, between being bullied on the track, being bullied off the track. Being a female can be tough in certain instances where if you're not focused on racing, that there's a lot of men out there that, want to hook up or do other things. Like if you're not headstrong saying, I'm here to go racing, like I'm not here to find a boyfriend or something. And there's a lot of guys that will use your female character. When I was getting sponsorship or I was getting, opportunities, it's like, oh, because she's a girl or, oh, she's, they were trying to make it negative or sexual when it's like, even if I was sleeping my way to the top, that wouldn't qualify me on times. Like, I just remember taking it so hard at the beginning and I learned how to think like, oh, these people are jealous. These people are bitter. They're making excuses for themselves, not me. But it was really hard on myself because I was like, hey, like I was trying to do everything the right way. No matter what I felt I was doing, they were trying to come up with something negative. But I think it was very difficult for their ego to handle seeing a successful woman when they weren't getting the same opportunities that I was. But there's so much more to it than just your lap times, that comes into it, and working with people and being good with fans and stuff. And absolutely, if you were to ask me now, 100%, because I talk to other riders now about stuff I've dealt with and they've never had to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the guys that I'm actually friends with, like there's a lot of really good men in the paddock. I'm not saying they're all bad, but there's a lot of team owners and sponsors and riders and other people that I've talked to about some of my experiences, and they can't believe that I've gone through some of the things that I have. But I'm not like a victor. I'm not boo-hoo. If anything, I think all those things made me as strong as I am, where now I have a, like, I don't give a fuck attitude, or you ain't going to talk to me like that. Like, I'm so much more tough than what I used to be. And I'm so grateful for everything that I went through. But it's so good. Like when I talk to young ladies or other people that talk to me now, I'm like, get your mental game is number one, because that's going to be the toughest thing to overcome.
How would you teach someone to get their mental game in order? I mean, it cannot be taught.
Well, yes and no, but to be honest, I'd probably say in the last 4 to 5 years. So I'm really big on a lot of podcasts and reading, but a lot of the stuff I read is, I don't want to say self-help, but stuff to improve yourself and make yourself a better person. And there's so many, like, especially driving and flying so much, like audiobooks on confidence, on overcoming adversity, on athletes, on business, like so many things that apply though. And even now, coming from where I'm at, like I read books and listen to stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, like light bulb moments where I wish I had those things younger. So, you can't always give someone an experience that you went through. You can give them help of, hey, this is going to happen. If it hasn't happened yet, I promise you it'll probably happen. But, here's what you can deal with it. Here's what you can say to those types of people. But here's some great books to read to prepare yourself on, a lot of things you have to deal with. Like there's so many good books out there that, like ultra marathon runners and triathletes and other people talk about, because even sometimes your worst enemy is just yourself, and how you overcome it, and tricks and stuff to do and mental preparation. And there's still things that I do now. Like you got to beat your own self when it comes to a certain point. So you can't, like I said, you can't give someone the life experience, but you can prepare them as much as possible. But I feel like if you prepare someone that's younger to let them know that this might happen, then they're ready for it. Where I wasn't ready for a lot of the stuff that they were saying to me or doing to me. But, if you tell someone younger, like there's a few younger ladies at Club Race and I talk to them and they're like, oh my gosh, I dealt with this. And it makes me feel like so proud that I at least gave them a warning. Yeah. Anyone that's willing to kind of go out of their comfort zone to ask a question, because it is, a lot of people don't necessarily want to go up to someone and be like, hey, how do I do this? Like even the most basic stuff. So anyone that's like brave enough or takes the time to talk to me, I'm always willing to talk to them and give them help, because I never had anyone like that. There wasn't many pros or anyone for me to look up to. So it's like, I always want to help as many people as I can to give them the opportunities that I didn't have. I see so many young ladies now, teenage racers, that they're already way ahead of the game than I, like at 14, I was putting on blue makeup and, going to the mall. Like I was not that cool as they are. But I think, this motorsport racing makes women more confident. And, even from me now, from where I started, like I'm so much more confident as a person. Like I wish all women would ride. There's some women that message me, and I know I've talked to Anna about this before, like women that send you messages online that just want to learn to ride or learn to do something. Not everyone wants to be a racer. And just the confidence, seeing someone for their first time ride a motorcycle by themselves or get their license, like how proud they are. I'm like, yeah, girl, I get it. Like you don't need to be on the back of someone's bike, like ride a bike. And it's just crazy to see that. Like motorcycles empower women, and I love it. Being dominant in a male-dominated sport or persevering is more to me, more about your mindset and your attitude and your confidence. And I just wish, if I can tell that to more younger ladies, or even ladies now that are doing it on any level, work on your mindset first. And, obviously everything else will come into play.